Hi everybody, welcome back to Living Between Paychecks Kitchen. Today I'll be hosting it because Lady's wanting to do her own thing, YouTube stuff. Oz is in isolation still, don't know what he's up to, and well, I'm the only one here. So anyway, a friend recommended something to me recently. It's called potato soup. His version uses instant mashed potatoes. Maybe we could do that later, but I looked into doing a more from scratch version. So we're going to go ahead and get into what they call loaded baked potato soup. I don't know what's baked about it, but let's get into it. Alright, so for potato soup, the first thing you're going to need is actual potatoes. This recipe called for 3 russet potatoes. I'm going ahead and using 4. You're going to need 5 tablespoons of butter, unsalted preferably. Some green onions for garnish later on. A 1/4 cup of flour. A 1/2 cup of sour cream. Bacon strips. The recipe calls for 4, but you can use as many of them as you want. This just goes on later. And you're going to need 3.5 cups of milk. Yeah, 3.5 cups of milk. Alright, so let's go ahead and get into it. Okay, so the first thing you're probably going to want to start on is the bacon, because you want to get that going because it's going to take a while to cook. But I'm doing a live voiceover instead of the traditional way of doing it. So I'm actually going to start with peeling the potatoes because I don't want crackling going on in the background and grease popping. Now this recipe specifically calls for peeled tomatoes cut down into little bite-sized cubes. You could probably get away with leaving the potato skin on there. I prefer to do that, but I'm actually going to follow the recipe this time. So let's go ahead and get peeling. I really wish I had a potato peeler about now. Alright, so now that your potatoes are relatively peeled, you might want to invest in a potato peeler. Doing it by hand kind of sucks. You want to cut them down into bite-sized pieces. We're going to go ahead and get into that right now. Bigger chunks than that, preferably. You could have it however you want. You can have it like this. You can have those. It's up to you. It's all personal. Alright, now that you're done with the excruciating process of peeling and cutting the potatoes, we can finally get into frying the bacon. Okay, so here we are with the bacon cooking. Off camera, I went ahead and cut 6 strips in half and placed them in our cast iron skillet. The only reason I cut them in half is so it would fit a little bit better. You don't have to do that. It's personal choice. Also, how you want them is also personal choice. So this is going in with potatoes. I want them a little bit on the harder side. I don't want them crunchy, but I don't want them soft. Alright, I have the bacon about where I want it, so I'm going to go ahead and start pulling it off. Still a little bit soft and wiggly. I'll go ahead and put it on our southern secret weapon. And this is more than the recipe called for. Alright, so our next step is to actually start on the soup base. So we're going to go ahead and melt down our 5 tablespoons of butter. Once this is melted, we're going to go ahead and add our flour. Alright, our butter is melted, so let's go ahead and start whisking in our flour. Alright, after it's starting to thicken up and brown, we're going to start slowly adding in our milk. Alright, now we're just going to keep whisking it until it thickens up. Alright, so my base is about where I want it to be. Next you need to add the potatoes. Very carefully. And you want to add in some green onion that you did earlier, hopefully. Now you want to bring it to a boil. And after it starts boiling, that'll be the next step. I will see you when we get there. Alright, so we got it to a boil. Now we're going to go ahead and reduce it down to a simmer. We're going to do it for about 20-25 minutes. It could be longer, depends on how you cut your potatoes. You know, your main goal is to stop when the potatoes are nice and soft. So your cooking time may vary. So go ahead and cover it up. And reduce it to a simmer. Alright, so while it is simmering, now would probably be a good time to add in any seasonings you want to. It's going to be very bland if you don't. It's just going to be potatoes and green onions. You don't want just that unless you really like potatoes. But yeah, add in any seasonings. I have black pepper right here, have some garlic powder, have some onion powder, and some salt. Kosher salt specifically, don't know why, it's just what I have. Garlic, some onion powder, and some salt. Not a lot though. You don't want to overdo it on the salt. Go ahead and, if you do season it, go ahead and stir everything in. And I hope you do season it because it kind of needs seasoning. Alright, let's go ahead and cover it up and let it continue to simmer. Alright, so it's been simmering for about 12 minutes. We're going to go ahead and add in the sour cream. And we're also going to add in the cheese. You can use more sour cream if you want. You can use less. The same goes for the cheese. You can use any amount of cheese. It's up to you. It does not matter. I'm a big fan of cheese, so I'm going to go ahead and just wing it. No specific amount. Stir it in. And let simmer for the rest of the remaining time. Obviously be sure to come back and occasionally stir it so it doesn't sit for too long. Alright, so my soup's been going for about 21 minutes now, simmer wise. I'm going to go ahead and pick up a potato, see if it's how I want it. See how soft it is. That one could be softer. Alright, the potatoes aren't how I want them yet, so I'm going to go ahead and let it sit for just a few more minutes. Alright, it's been about 4 more minutes. I'm going to go ahead and take it off. For me, the overall cook time was about 24 minutes. It will vary for you, as I said earlier. Let's go ahead and get a bigger scoop. It's about the consistency I want. If you want it thinner, add more milk. Otherwise, I prefer to have it a little bit thick, so this is how I want it. Alright, so we've added about 2 ladlefuls worth of the potato soup to the bowl. Next, we're going to go ahead and set it up. Go ahead and start with a amount of cheese. Throw in some chives. And some bacon. Some more. And so there you have it, what they call loaded baked potato soup. I don't know what's baked about it, so yeah, this stuff was actually really good. It was definitely worth making, and I would make it again. Hopefully not under the influence of SQL. Alright, so there you have it, potato soup. It's my first time making it. It probably showed. Sorry if things were a little disjointed, maybe hardish to follow. I took a ZQL right before recording, so I forgot I had to record an episode. Anyway, you can catch us here every Tuesday and Friday. It's when we upload our videos, or you can also catch us any day, whenever, since we have 100 videos up. We have a nice sized backlog now. Anyway, also, you can catch us on Facebook at Living Between Paychecks Kitchen, and you can also catch us on Instagram at Living Between. Anyway, we'll see you next time, and thanks for watching.